You just told my boy, Sir Blayke, he was doing too many runs. And he was doing 1/10 of the runs that this dude was doing that were 1/10 of the notes. What planet are you on? What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham, and this is the Idol Breakdown. Let's get started. First up, we've got Tobias.
I see us in the park, strolling the summer days of imaginings in my head and words from my heart.
Tobias comes in very confident. He's giving me some serious I'm a beast vibes. I just feel like he's gonna crush. He's very confident. He says, I can do everything. I can produce, sing, dance, play. I can do it all. And most of the time when people say that, they're almost never very good at what they say they can do. But when he says it, I'm fully convinced. I'm like, yeah, I just feel like he's about to smash. He starts to play piano, and he is all the way good at piano. He dances later too, and he's a very, 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 very good, legitimate dancer. When he sings, he sounds great. He actually has a little bit of a weakness in the upper part of his chest voice when he tries to belt. It comes across a little yelly. If he tapped into mixed voice, which is a part of the voice that Stevie Wonder especially, and a lot of other singers use, I use all the time. It's kind of the only way I'm gonna hit these high belting notes is mixed voice. Otherwise, it comes across like you're yelling really loud, because that's kind of what chest voice is. Chest voice would be like, I don't wanna bore. Mixed voice would be, I don't wanna bore. It's kind of like covered and closed, but you can do so much more. Chest voice, you can feel when someone does that it's like they're at the end of their rope. With mixed voice, it still gives that punch. I don't wanna bore. You can go so much higher and stronger, and it's easier than chest voice. If he can shift all that and actually get into mixed voice somehow, it's easier said than done. He could be really special, but if he has a weakness, that's what it is. I feel like the confidence he has, he's used to just playing piano and singing and people melting around him. I did when he first started playing and singing. I was like, oh boy, this guy's a beast. I bet in Hollywood Week, there was a keyboard around and people around, he was the first to the keyboard to show off his chops and to sing. I bet he was the first one there. I actually think he's a better player than he is a singer. It's kind of just a testament to how good of a player he is. Listen, I'm loving Luke. The more I hear him and the more stuff he says and the more I watch him, I think he's on. I think he's the best judge. Anyone who says the judges on Idol are just fluffing and they're not giving real critique, we can't say that anymore, because they are digging into people when they need to be dug into. Even Luke has the confidence enough to be like, hey, you're not there you're not perfect vocally, but everything else is great. And I think so many people in that situation, because he did so well, would just be like, wow, you were awesome. It's totally up to Tobias on how far he goes. Can he do more than just sit at the piano and sing Stevie Wonder songs and croon? Can he actually take different songs and put them in a package that is palatable and desirable for people to listen to, specifically American Idol viewers? Next is Morgan Gruber.
Quit trying to love me.
Ooh.
I done told you.
Ooh, come on.
I'm not the one.
Yes, let's go.
Baby, please. Quit trying to love me.
Go on, girl.
Come on.
You should know.
Ah!
You were just some fun.
I want to know this song because it's 6/8 and it really messes with minor third and plays around with that, and she is murdering it. I love her tone. She is crushing mixed voice. A lot of what she does is mixed voice. Anytime she goes into chest voice, which is that big open kind of bellowing, yelling sound, she's flat, which is actually a trend this entire episode. There's so many contestants that were flat in their chest voice. It was just interesting, but she had a little bit of an issue with that for the most part. She was killing. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button and the notifications bell. That's gonna make sure that you know every time I have a video out. Subscribe thing is free. The like thing is, it's just, you could have liked it like 5 times by now. You could have liked it and disliked it and then liked it again if you wanted, which you don't want to do that too much, you know. You take it easy, just like it one time and be done. But that helped me a lot, thanks. Jimmy Carafa.
How do I get through a night without you? I need you in my arms, need you to hold.
Here she does one of my biggest pet peeves. She tells Luke, I promise I'm not a weirdo, and then proceeds to tell him things that are weird and mildly uncomfortable. It starts off like, listen, I promise I'm not a weirdo. I'm just a big fan of yours. I listen to your music and I love it. And I mean, what's not to love, honey? It's like, you were so close. You were so close to not being that person that you just said you weren't. And then you kind of became that person. It's just, it hits a spot for me because if you've ever experienced that, if you've ever been on a show or been on a TV thing and then people come up to you afterwards, one of the most common things you get is, I promise I'm not being weird, and then they are weird afterwards. Now, asking for a picture, saying you're a big fan, wanting to talk to you even more than normal, that's not weird. I'm talking about like low-key hitting on you or calling them Lukey Pookie and what's not to love. Like, that is uncomfortable. It's entertaining and funny, I guess, for you to do, but to the person, the real live person that you're talking to, it's uncomfortable. Now, in that setting, probably was fine because he's surrounded by cameras and people and it's not a big deal. But people do that all the time when it's just you and them, and that's not fun. And I'm a guy. I can't even imagine like girls that get hit on like that. Anyway, moving forward, she starts singing. She's actually pretty good. She's a pretty good singer. I mean, everything they show of her, I'm like, oh, that's nice. I guess they're gonna let her go through. And I already wrote in my notes, like, while she was singing, I don't know if she's gonna make it far in Hollywood with all the talent. And then she misses a falsetto note, which is not that big of a deal. I mean, it's definitely a train wreck vocal type of moment, but it's so common and it's so easy in those moments where your voice is dry or you're worn out for that falsetto to go away. I was kind of just taking that as a wash. I'm like, it happens, circumstances. But the judges gave her a critique and they said no to her. And I was actually kind of surprised, and it made me think, I wonder if that crack really did do it for her, or if their minds were already made up. It does go to show, though, the importance of being disciplined in your preparation. You talk about how much it means to you and how much you want to fight for it, and you start begging to the judges, but you talk about how you're screaming all day and you lost your voice. I might be being overcritical, but you got to take care of your voice. You've got to be disciplined from start to finish if it really doesn't mean that much to you. Next, we have a couple, Matt and Kaylin.
We were picking out names for kids we didn't have. We're talking about a honeymoon, pinning spots on a map.
Sometimes I wonder if he knew in the back of his mind that I wasn't the one, just someone passing his time.
I think Matt would have done much better if he did not audition with Kaylin, because when he started singing and it was original song, I was like, oh, sick. This guy's good. Okay, yeah, he's gonna make it through. Great song, seems genuine, authentic, and he's a songwriter, got a good voice. But then she starts to sing, it's like, oh, holy crap. She sounds amazing. And next to her, all of a sudden we don't see him as good. We kind of all knew it was coming on the live stream watch party with members. We were all like, they're gonna split them up. Because when there's such a difference in talent, it's like you're asking them to do that. And that's what happened. She's a beast. So mad. Okay, confession. When I heard it was country, I was like, okay, I don't have to do a reaction video for this. I'll just watch because it's country. Then she starts singing. I'm like, yo! And I was like, crap, the video. And I missed my opportunity. She's a beast. If you want to participate in these live streams and other perks of being a member, you can hit the join button to the bottom right hand side of this video. It's $5 a month. It's easy peasy. We have a lot of good times. Come be a part of the Groove Crew. Next, we have Saylor.
All I want is nothing more to hear you knocking at my door.
She is super interesting to me because, wow, what a story. So Saylor's dad, they were really close. Then he left her mom for a woman that he found on his daughter's fan page that he'd been having an affair with. Oh my gosh. So she's pretty much just saying, I just want to prove that I don't need him to do this and I can do it without him. She says a couple little things like, I just want to be somebody. I just want to be somebody. And she says something else that reminded me of that psychological concept. I know it's kind of TV speak, but you got to be careful with those psychological games because Katie mentions it. She goes, you're already somebody, whether you sing or not. You're somebody already. Let me just get that straight. And it's true. Don't put so much identity on your talent. Don't put so much weight on your worth as a person, on your ability to sing or perform or be successful in an entertainment industry. Be very careful with that. It is a slippery slope. She starts to sing. Sounds great. Sounds a little nervous. Sounds great. And then she hits a really bad note. And she recovers, and you can tell she's really rattled because it was really rough. And then she comes back around to it again, and she's gonna try it again, and she does it again, and hits it hard once again. Really bad crack, if you want to call it that. And I'm hurting because I've experienced exactly this, where you're singing a song that you sung a million times and you have no problem with, and for some reason you just come to it this time and you just whiff. That may have never happened to her in the history of her singing that song for her whole life ever. There's no way that that's actually out of her range because one, she sings way higher than that later in the song and kills it. Two, there's no way she practiced that and consistently cracked and was just like, oh, well, I'll just do it anyway. She's too good for that. So they let it be a wash. She totally believed that she screwed it all up and she blew it. And then when she got those yeses, that was some genuine joy. I'm so glad they looked past that. She's got a really good voice. I'm super curious to see how she does in Hollywood Week. Next we have Skyler, kind of. This got me so bad. Luke's wife's prank was, let me tell you, just having experience on a set like that and watching Luke react to someone loudly opening a chip bag, I would bet everything I own that was legitimate. Luke had no idea. Katie was obviously in on it because they said so. I think Lionel knew what was going on as well because he's not quite as good of an actor. I just kept waiting for it to be like a celebrity or something. I'm the guy who makes fun of the judge gimmicks. That was a real prank. Very well put on. And I really, I enjoyed it. And I was so happy to hear that the contestant was fake and that wasn't just a prank on them too.
Who is rattling the damn?
What the hell's going on?
If you want to listen to this episode as a podcast, you can go to Clark Beckham Idol Breakdown on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and you can find me there. Cameron.
By the banks of the river, where the willows hang down, where the wild birds they warble.
Harley mechanic pipeline backflip guy. He comes in. It's just so bubbly and full of joy. That's the most impressive backflip I've ever seen. In boots and jeans and whatever else he's in. Anyway, he starts to sing. Really cool tone to his voice. I was super into it. I was really scared the judges weren't going to let him through. Thank goodness they did because I liked him. I like him. I think he's a character. I think he's totally real. I think what you see is what you get. And I'm just looking forward to seeing him in Hollywood Week and I hope he continues and can do more and sticks out. We'll have to see. A lot of times the contestants that have a thing going for them, they sound really good and they don't have any experience, don't know how to branch out and keep that momentum going. I hope he does. Next is Emyrson Flora.
See you tugging on your shirt, trying to hide inside of it and hide how much it hurts.
Emyrson, another contestant who sings and has the goods. I mean, the tone and how she uses her voice around these notes and the texture of her voice, it's special. She's also only 16. Here's the problem. She's gonna be a monster in like 4 or 5 years. A monster. She's beautiful, she plays piano, she's got music in her, she gets it. Her range and her voice is gonna be so well developed, and she's gonna be a crazy person when it comes to just her singing ability. What does that look like at 16? It looks like someone with some pitch issues, not a great belting voice, a little yelly up in her chest voice, but because that raw talent's there, she might make it. I was talking to Hannah Everhart right now today. She says that she's 3 times as good as she's ever been. And if she were to go on the show now, it'd be a total different ball game. And you have to take that into consideration. It's like, yeah, I mean, 15 is the age, and you never know what life has for you. You never know how long Idol's gonna go. But man, you might get on at 16, get to top 24, and you're not able to audition again, and in 5 years, you would have won it. So I don't know. She has so much potential. I just don't know if her voice is developed yet. Brings up an interesting point about auditioning when you're really young and your voice still has some room to grow. We have been lighting up American Idol's Instagram account. So let's keep that going because that's a blast. I've actually got my notifications turned on for American Idol post. Soon as it goes, I immediately go there to post. So if you guys want to turn your notifications on for American Idol so you can go there and see if you can beat me to it and write a comment about how much you love these videos, I will go and like it. And then I'm going to go to your profile and just kind of check you out, like and comment on a couple of your things. So let's just continue to keep that trend going because it's doing a really good job. Thank you. Sir Blayke.
Maybe I waited too long. Maybe I played my cards wrong. Oh, just a little bit wrong. Baby, I
Give it to us.
apologize for it. So don't call me baby.
Yes, sir.
Unless you mean it.
Now, this dude is one of my favorites. This guy is dedicated enough to leave his home, to go pursue his dreams, lose his place of residence, and still not give up. It's like, that's fine. Bench over there, I'm gonna sleep right there. I've been told by people in LA, the only people who can move to LA and make it are people who are willing to be homeless. He said most of the people who have that dream and do make it, even the giant celebrities, at one point lived in their car. So when he passed that test, if you will, I instantly gained a massive amount of respect for him. I love this dude. I thought he was amazing. I thought his tone was great. He's so musical. I loved his runs. He missed a couple, but not bad. I couldn't quite tell if it was nerves or if he was just trying runs that he really couldn't quite do, but he nailed some of them. I mean, he nailed some of them. He showed that he can do stuff that no one else can really do on the show so far. And I felt it, and I just believed everything. I thought his tone was good. I thought he was awesome. And then Luke and the rest of the judges were like, yeah, I thought it was good in spots. Like, in spots, he was fantastic. All I could think about was, oh my gosh, I want him to go far in the competition because I want to hear him do so many more songs. I can just hear how his grasp on music will allow him to do so many cool covers and special performances on this show. And then the judges are like, well, I don't know, he was okay in some spots, but others he wasn't. It's like, well, who are you listening to? Lionel gave him the, you don't need to do the runs. You don't need those extra curves. You want the audience to sing along. Gave him that spiel. So I'm like, kinda, but the audience also wants to hear someone who sings better than them. So I thought he was a storyteller, loved his tone. The runs he did I thought were great, except the one or two that he just missed a little bit on. And then Luke, my favorite judge, said no. He said no? I guarantee Sir Blayke thought he was going to go through with 3 yeses. I guarantee it, because he's so good. He's aware. And then when he genuinely barely scraped by, just like Saylor, genuine joy. Genuine joy. And for me too, I was ready to flip tables if this guy didn't make it. Here's the upside. He's going to work so much harder for Hollywood Week because he got a no and 2 bareleys than if he would have gotten 3 yeses and sailed through the next round. That's something that I know firsthand because I barely squeaked through my audition and I worked my tail off in a way that I wouldn't have if I just got 3 yeses. And they show a bunch of singers who are, I don't know how else to say it, but wild and out of control. And I kind of miss that. That used to be most of what American Idol auditions were. We got a little bit of the crazy. The guy with the 17-piece Rototom kit, the Screamo girl, like we got some crazies, and I think they're in there knowing that they're doing some crazy stuff. And it was kind of nice. I kind of liked it. Carly.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide.
Anytime they show B-roll from the contestant's home or the occupation, we automatically know they made it. Because they're not about to be like, hey, sorry, it's a no, we don't want you on the show and you're not gonna go through. But do you mind if we come over and like video you cutting dog's hair and stuff? Like, it's just not, they're not gonna do that. She's got a big voice, huge instrument, and she is amazing in spots. And other spots, she repeats a run, trill thing over and over and over. It's like the same one. And she's missing here and there. It's pretty calculated. Lionel kind of hits it on the head. You need to kind of just relax and just perform and don't think. Her dad was my favorite part of the whole season, I think. She's got a ton of potential and a locomotive of a voice. Next we have Jay.
Like a fool, I went and stayed too long. Now I'm wondering if your love's still strong. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours.
Absolutely.
Wait, are you serious? Jay comes in saying he dropped out of school, he couldn't audition for American Idol and stay in school at the same time, which, come on guys, give me a break. Let the man audition. But he says, I don't know if I made the right decision or if I made the wrong decision, but I know I made the best decision. This dude starts singing and is so out of control. Like runaway train going 5,000 miles an hour down a mountain. He starts off the song and just whiffs on the entire run. He hits maybe 25% of it and then just falls down the stairs into a slide on the run. Sings, and he can sing really high, he can sing really powerfully, and then does the same exact run like 4 times, misses it every time, hits the high falsetto stuff, does giant runs. The dude's range is nuts. It's massive. And his vocal skill is crazy. His technique is amazing. But dude was a runaway train. And when that happens, I can't receive anything vocally that might otherwise be impressive because I'm just like, I'm like drinking from a fire hose. Like, whoa, what are we doing here? And then the judges, first they give him a standing ovation. Then they start saying things like, you're perfect in my opinion. You're exactly what we need. You just told my boy, Sir Blayke, he was doing too many runs. And he was doing 1/10 of the runs that this dude was doing that were 1/10 of the notes. What planet are you on? And you know what? I might be by myself. Because in the members live chat watch party thing, everyone was like, woo, yeah, dang, this guy's crazy. And yeah, he's crazy. His vocal talent might be the best of the whole season. But dude is running ragged all over the place. Now, if he got some restraint, he could literally do any song and just go viral infinitely. I mean, he's got a crazy voice, but has no idea what to do with it. And I also feel bad because I feel like I'm being really harsh, and it's based off what the judges said about him and how they praised him so much. But I feel bad because that has nothing to do with him. Like, he's just singing his best. It's not his fault that the judges say what they say. If they would have said, wow, listen, you got a great voice, but you've got to tone it down, like they've said to so many people that did so much less than him. If they would have told him that, and he's like, okay, and they're like, we're gonna let you through because your voice is nuts, but you have got to bring that in. My commentary right now would be, this dude's a monster. Way out of control, and I agree with the judges, he's gotta bring that in, but if he does, wow, the sky's the limit. But instead now I have to address the judges' folly of not serving this kid, because what do? They just encouraged him to do that all the time. He's gonna go to Hollywood Week and be an absolute stick of dynamite, just constantly exploding at every single turn of every lyric. I mean, I would feel like he would do that. Why wouldn't he do that? He just did that on this song and got the platinum ticket. They gave him the platinum ticket for that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just cannot believe the judges did him such a disservice. Not even say a word. He missed so many runs, attempted stuff that he should not have attempted. Even if he would have nailed it, it was just distasteful. And of all people, they didn't say a thing about it. They were just like, oh, wow, that was great. Every 20th season, we have a platinum ticket. And I think you're the one. And he wasn't even surprised. He's like, yeah, I know I'm a beast. And I was like, oh no, they're just encouraging him. They're doing him a disservice. Okay, let's move on. Next we have Skyler.
We know we may never meet again.
From Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Lancaster, it's not Lancaster. I know because I have a friend that lives in Lancaster. I really like him. I see him and I'm like, this guy looks like a professional dancer. Nailed it. He is. He's another contestant whose chest voice is flat, but when he leaves his chest voice, starts to clamp down on the note and really finish out that note with all of the tone and the juice and the sauce that he has, it's butter. And it's a 10 out of 10. So juicy. So special. So good. Every time he went into that chest voice, he was under. But I feel like the pitch issue with him would be an instant fix. He's just got to be aware of it mentally. There's another contestant that was like this too. But it goes back to, he sounds so good. No one's going to tell him that he's flat because he sounds so good. It's just not going to come up in conversation unless you're earnestly seeking critique, which that's what our idols should do. And they've been so good randomly at critique and sticking on contestants, but they don't let them know. And so someone needs to let him know, hey bro, you're flat here. I swear that's all it would take. He would fix it just like that. And you know what? Actually, now I think of it, he watched his audition back. I'm sure he heard it himself. So, assuming that's true, I'm sure he'll fix it. And in Hollywood Week, won't be an issue. I really look forward to seeing what he's gonna do because I liked him a lot. He's got some really special tone. Okay, all that said about the judges and how much I think they were wrong. For my winners and losers of the week, the winners were the Judges Shenanigans. I am so harsh on the gimmicky stuff. I thought they were so funny this episode because it also looked like they were genuinely goofing off instead of responding to producers going, hey guys, we think it'd be really funny if Katie, like you started singing the song and then jumped into his arms. I swear that's what they do because they did it to us. But that's not what happened. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like they just went rogue. They felt free to play and mess around. And that's just what happened at the end. I really did love the prank. I thought that was hilarious and real. I was actually thoroughly entertained by the shenanigans of the judges this time. My losers of the week are the contestants on this episode because I think the majority of them got such bad critique or lack thereof. They were either way too hard on these contestants or they just glorified and praised their names and robbed them of some small critiques that could have helped them so much in the future. This week's viewer question comes from Jessica Shelton. I've gotten this question a lot. She says, how many different people / producers do they have to go through and sing to before this celebrity judge? It depends. So I submitted a video to audition that represented my cattle call. So typically you have the cattle call, which is just open call auditions. If I remember correctly, they have several tables set up and you just have to make it through one table. Then you go to another day and you sing for 2 rounds of producers. That second round is the executive producer round. That is the farthest you can go and not sing for the judges. On my season, they had 4 people there. It was in a dark room. You could barely see them. It was really intimidating. They talked amongst themselves and you kind of had to get a 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3 of their votes. And then you got like a little certificate. It was kind of like a gold ticket. And then you came back like 2 days later and then actually sang for the judges. That's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next week.
I won't give away, give away, give away.